Okay. So, do I have any questions? Did y'all have any questions about what we've discussed so far
Um,
about?
um,
Yes.
so are we supposed to go outside with like our mom's phone or whatever and just record noises?
We're actually about to get into the project. But in short, the answer to your question is yes. That is what we're going to be doing. Um, and I just wanted to point out in that video, I thought the coolest thing in that video is that they can record sounds underwater. That I thought that was pretty cool because when he mentioned that, the coolest thing that they might get a goldfish vocalizing, I never thought about a goldfish making sound at all. But if a goldfish went by that microphone and made sound, yeah, that's quite pretty cool. I mean, and then let alone to think about, the sound that as humans that we cause riding on boats or kayaking across a lake or anything, how that affects the animals that are in that water. Were there any other questions about what we've discussed thus far?
Yeah, so we live by a highway, so when you go outside, you can just hear that in the distance constantly.
Oh, good. Yeah, yeah. That's part of your soundscape. So when you're describing, if you're saying your soundscape at home, part of your soundscape at home is that traffic noise. Hmm. So good. Any other questions? Okay.
No.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep going. So now I'm going to get into the project portion. This is like I said, we're doing what we just watched in the video essentially. So we're gonna make a soundscape of our home, and this is to give you an idea of what sounds around your home that you're familiar with. And so if these are the sounds of your home, that means when you go on vacation or if you go out of town for whatever reason and you hear any of these sounds in a similar fashion, your mind is going to take you back home. You're going to be thinking back to your places of what's relative to home for you. So the first step in this project is you're going to pick a location to record. Okay, document where you put your device. Like write down, you could use a piece of paper or write in a journal where you put it. And so on this right hand side, this is a picture of my phone on the floor. Actually, it was raining, and so what I did, I have a balcony in my apartment. I opened the door and I knew I wanted to catch the rain sounds, the car sounds, or anything else that was going on right outside my apartment. So I have my door open, I hit the record button on my phone, and my phone is just sitting on the floor. And then I went into another room for about 10 minutes. Okay. So just so you know, if you have a phone or any device that you want to record on, here are some apps. These are completely free if you want to write these down. For iPhone, you have voice memos. This is already on your phone. If you have an iPhone, you don't have to go to the App Store at all. And that's what I used when I recorded my sound. As well, for Droid and iPhone, you can find this in either store. You have the Voice Recorder Pro, and that app, both of these apps are completely free. You can download them and you start using them immediately. As well, if you'd like to, just use the microphone that with your computer. If you, depending on where you decide to record, you can. If you have a microphone set up, you can do that with your microphone on your computer. Or if you have your own handheld recorder, that works as well. Places to record. I've listed a couple of places here, like you can pick your bathroom, your backyard, a kitchen, a front door. By your front door, like you could have like I did, where you leave the front door open, or just even place the recorder right outside the front door. You could open a window and inside your car. Maybe you go to the on a drive to the store with your family, and you all record, the sounds that happen on the way
I don't
to the
think
store.
that's gonna happen anytime soon.
It's just a suggestion. You can record on your front porch or your backyard, bedrooms, street intersections are a cool place. Maybe you have a neighborhood park, or maybe you have a laundry room. So any of these are places that you can record as suggestions. But I want to take a minute. I want to take this time. I want you all to think of a place that I didn't list and take 1 minute and write your answer in the chat. See what you can come up with. So your minute starts now. Oh no. There we go. So again, you're just thinking of a location that maybe you could learn what that soundscape is that I didn't list up here. Oh, a creek. That's a good answer. And you can put more than one answer. If you got more answers, we still got 40 seconds. Oh, you all have a basement. Now, that would be interesting because I'm pretty sure you'd hear the sounds from upstairs where people moving to. That would be interesting to hear. Cool, cool. Any other answers? You got 13 more seconds. Y'all got great answers so far. What's a ADUC? A duck? A duck? All right. Well, great answers, guys. Great answers. Great
An
answers.
attic.
An attic. Oh man, that's a great one. That's a you see, I knew y'all were smart. Y'all have some pretty good answers right there to add to that list. So once you've done that with your recording, remember you want to take your recording, your device, place it there, write down where you recorded it. You can use any of these apps. Then once you're done, you're gonna upload your audio to BandLab, and depending on what device you recorded on, that means you're most likely gonna have to get your recording onto your computer first. So if you're in your phone on the voice memo app, there's going to be a share button that you can email it to yourself. If you all know how to email anything to yourself, any of these devices ought to be able to email the recording to yourself. Once you've emailed it to yourself, you can download it to your computer. And when you get into BandLab, as soon as it opens up, this is exactly what it gives you, and it just says new track. You don't have to click any of the options right here. You can go ahead and straight and click import audio /MIDI. And then you'll click that import audio button and go find your recording that you did. And I will actually show you how I did mine. I've already uploaded my recording into BandLab. So after you've recorded it and you've uploaded it to BandLab, take this time to listen. So grab some headphones. I highly encourage you to grab some headphones. And matter of fact, if you go back and watch any of the videos that we've watched here in this class, if you weren't listening with headphones this time, you should go back and listen with headphones because you can hear more intently what is going on in the videos, and the sound that's happening in those is intense. So grab headphones and find a quiet place to listen to your recording. And finding a quiet place is important because you don't want sounds that are not in your recording to interfere with what you're hearing. So if you have a baby in the room that's crying, that might not be a best place to listen to your recording because that's going to mess up what you're hearing. So while you're listening, I want you to write down all of the sounds you hear. Okay. Even if you don't know what it is, just try to describe it.
Okay.
Just try, fuzzy sounds like maybe a bird messing with some sticks, or just describe it the best you can. But the idea is to get as much as you can on that piece of paper. The more that you have, the better, and there is no wrong answer. Okay, no wrong answer. So anything that you think you hear or thought you heard, write it down. Okay, and once you've written it down, you've listened to your recording, I suggest maybe listening once or twice, maybe 2 or 3 times, because the more familiar you are with it, the more you're actually going to hear different sounds each time. So once you've created your list, you're going to review your list that you wrote down and ask yourself these 3 questions. Do any of these sounds connect me to a memory or a feeling? So like you all were mentioning the highway sound, maybe the highway sound gives you a memory. Maybe you have a memory from your childhood or last week or 2 years ago that sound is connected to. The second and third questions are pretty much the same question, just flip-flop. Which of these sounds are you familiar with, and which of these sounds are you unfamiliar with? And you can even just go in and circle the ones that you're familiar with and just leave the ones that you're unfamiliar with uncircled. And this is to give you an idea.
Um,
You had a question?
Ow, stop. So stop doing that. I'm not sure if So are we supposed to? Are we supposed to bring our own? Are we supposed to you? So we don't have an Android or
Yeah, we do.
do you use an Android?
Yes, we have an Android.
Okay, never mind then.
No problem. So, yeah, you want to decide what sounds you're familiar with and what you're unfamiliar with. And think about what this tells you. This tells you that there are sounds that happen around you that you may not even be paying attention to because they happen all the time. And so your brain actually starts to just ignore them. And so this is a good way of checking that, but also you're checking what you are familiar with, what sounds affect you and how they affect you, which is important because this is also how you pick your music. Believe it or not, how the songs that you say, this is my favorite song, you're actually picking songs that remind you of other sounds that you've heard. So a lot of times songs that have little samples or things that remind you of a specific moment or a specific feeling, those end up being your favorite songs because you're most familiar with those sounds. Which is why, so when you think about genres of music have different sounds because of the different places that they come from. So reggae music has a certain feeling because places where reggae comes from, the weather's often warm, the climate out there probably feels a certain type of way that affects how the music is made versus if I was listening to music that came out of New York. New York has a lot of other sounds influencing. I'm probably going to hear a lot of more car noise and traffic noise in New York versus like a Jamaica where reggae comes from. So these things influence what you like and what the sounds make you feel. So you're learning about yourself in this moment when you're trying to keep track of what sounds are around you because these are the sounds that are around you most often, and you're learning about yourself because you're learning what sounds you're familiar with and what sounds you aren't familiar with. So once you've got your list, you're going to review your list. And then the last thing you do is bring this list and your recording to class on Thursday. Okay. We're going to share our recordings with each other and we're going to even talk about what we've heard and listen to a couple of the recordings that we have. And that's when I'm actually going to share my recording. So I'm not going to share until everybody else shares. I think it's unfair. I keep sharing my projects and I want to hear other people's stuff as well. So make sure you bring your observations to class. All right. So that is it. Any questions about the project, about the steps that I just gave?
Nope, we're good.
Good. So you all understand you're going to record, pick a place, record it, document it, listen to it, write down the sounds, and ask yourself those questions and bring your observations to class. So, how well were you paying attention? I've got 3 questions, and these will be our exit questions for the end of class. And you can either answer out loud or you can write it in the chat. Okay. So, question number 1: what is a soundscape?
It is a range of sounds in a certain location.
Ah, great answer. Okay. Number 2: who popularized the term soundscape?
I some
Is
co-
it was like this guy.
I'm bad with names. So it's old composer dude.
No, not a composer. It was this guy.
Yeah, it was a composer, right?
It was a
Mhm.
guy.
He is a composer.
Wait, what?
He is a composer.
He
Uh-huh.
was a composer, and he was a and I can't remember.
Do you remember his first name was not given. It was just a letter. Can you guess the letter?
J.
J. No,
S.
it was blue. Wait, that's
S.
R. R. Murray Schaefer.
That's gotta be the.
Oh yeah, like R. Murray something.
R. I'm gonna type it in the chat for you. R. Murray Schaefer. And there you go. R. Murray Schaefer. That is his name. And so again, make sure we don't confuse. He popularized the term soundscape. So he did not create the term, okay? So he just made it popular. He made it so that it's a term that everybody uses to describe it. All right. Good job. Number 3, name one career. So one each, one for Silas and one for Sumner. Name one career that utilizes or creates soundscapes.
Industries.
Industries.
Sound ecology.
Sound ecology. Yes, that is one answer. Do I have another? I just need one more answer.
Sound industries.
Sound productions on there.
Sounds.
Not production. It was sound something. It started with a D.
Sound influenza.
Maybe sound design. You remember talking about that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yes. So right, you had acoustic ecology and you had soundscape ecology as well as Foley artist. Do you all know what a Foley artist is?
No idea.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about this in class last week, so I'm just going to give a brief description. But a Foley artist, when you all watch movies and sounds, remember we just watched this the video just now with R. Murray Schafer, and there was a spot where he was like he stopped talking, but you still heard him talking because the sound was pre-recorded. So that's that's essentially what happens in movies when you are watching people walk on a movie in a movie and you hear like their feet hitting the ground. You're not actually hearing their feet hit the ground. That's somebody who went back and recorded a shoe.
Part. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's Foley artist. And so yeah, sound design, Foley artist, and the sound ecology and soundscape ecology. So great job, guys. You all were really paying attention. So
Thank you.
if you all have any more questions, anything else for me about the project or the lesson of today?
No, we're good.
Okay, good. So there's when you all go back to the Google Classroom, if you all want to, here is a extra video for you that you can watch. This is I think his name is Todd Hampton. Todd Hampton. He's a sound ecologist, and he goes to the quietest places in the world, and he just recorded sound. And so it's about 15 minutes, and I would highly suggest you listen with some headphones, but it's intense sound, and it's in places that you never could imagine what the sounds might be like in those places. So if you get a chance, go back and check that out. But I'll be looking forward to hearing you all soundscapes
right now.
You're gonna do that right now?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, it's a good video. So again, everything is in Google Classroom. Leave a comment or email me if you have any issues. Okay. So I'll see you guys on Thursday. All right. You all still there, Silas?
Are you muted? You're
Oh,
muted.
sorry.
Oh,
Yep.
no, you know.
Back and look at the Gary.
Bye.
Our internet's crashing.
Crashing.
The